I am a PC player, as most of you know by this point, and I have never played Dead by Daylight on console or even so much as plugged a controller into my PC to play it that way. So in the effort to try to understand some of the struggles, benefits, and even wishes of console players, I brought together 3 console players to help me and pretty much have a discussion about what they would like to see come for console Dead by Daylight. I hope you guys enjoy the video today, and as always, everybody who was featured in today's video will be linked down in the description below. Please make sure you go and give them some support, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Alright, so if we want to start off introducing yourselves, a little bit about what you do and everything, starting with Astral.
Hello everyone, my name is Astral Nest TV. I am a P100 console artist main. I am currently writing the artist guide, and I am the top 10 artist in my house.
Corpse.
Hello, I am Corpse Glons. I am a console scrub for Xbox. I am unhinged. I just do a lot of Twitch, only Twitch. I have 4,000 hours. I'm a P100 Myers and Fong Min main. I play both Survivor and Killer, and trying to bridge the gap of the us versus them mentality on my streams and just shouting to the void.
All right, and Phoenix.
Hi, I'm Phoenix. I'm a PlayStation P100 Singularity main. I stream on Twitch. I also make YouTube content, but most of my content is focused around the Singularity.
All right, and everybody has already seen the intro to the YouTube video, so they know why we're here. So, the first thing that I wanted to start with asking each of you, is what do you feel like might be one of the biggest disadvantages to console over PC?
I'll go ahead and start. I think the biggest disadvantage is when it comes to PCs, there's definitely more you can do with more adding elements. Like actually recently, I can expand on this because we've recently been talking about it, but there have been some filter issues going on lately, but that I think is a good thing to say that PC has over consoles. You can add things to help you like see better, because I hate to tell behavior, but your guys' colorblind settings still kind of suck. So I would say that yeah, they're pretty atrocious. I feel really bad for them, but hopefully with a lot of people in the community pushing for accessibility, they will become better. That is my hope. The other thing I would say is controllers are very restricting sometimes in their movement.
Very.
They are very restricting, especially because when you look at a PC, it like you have your keyboard WASD, you can immediately like flick it back. Controller, you have one joystick for one thing, like you have it for your one joystick for movement, one joystick for your camera. Controllers are very limiting, so that's my opinion on that.
Yeah. Okay. I want to add on, like, also there's also the delay input, and also a habit that I come across, I'm sure the rest of you would come across, is the dropping a pallet when trying to heal somebody.
Yes.
Auto aiming is is even more atrocious and even more of a pain on controller than like PC, I feel, in my opinion.
Playing against Pinhead is pain for that reason.
Yeah,
because you're trying to
definitely
playing him, and it makes you like vault the pallet. Like.
No, I agree. I can't tell you how many times I will like I've had this at Killer Shack, and I wanted to cry so bad. I was getting looped. I was looping a Myers, and I wanted to drop the pallet, and the game said, "Oh, you want to cleanse the totem? Okay." I'm like, "No."
I think I had a game on my last stream where I tried to vault a window on the new cold wind, and I don't know who at behavior decided it was a good idea to put a locker directly next to it, and I just jumped into it.
Yeah, because essentially that one button, and you can swap it around. For me, my action button is my right trigger to do gens, and vault, it's my right trigger. I should probably split those up, but you also are limited by the number of buttons you have, because you need you need your joysticks for moving. You need, especially if you want to run like the perks like repressed and like blast mine, you need those. So controllers are just very limiting, which really is unfortunate.
Yeah. Also, also rebinding keys also has the added risk of like you unfamiliarize yourself with how a controller is like designed. That makes sense. Like I tried like remapping my keys to like my Y button, and I'm like, yeah, this feels uncomfortable. So I just reset it back to default.
I've never changed my my keybinds on my controller for that reason, because no matter what I do, nothing feels natural.
Yeah, I only had to change my keybinds once because one of my controllers was dying, which controllers die a lot. And I had to swap my keybinds.
Money on that was battery
but I had to change my keybinds, and I haven't changed it back because I'm just like, I just grew to accept fate.
I think another pain point
I like to embrace it.
Sorry,
go ahead, Phoenix.
I was gonna say another pain point that I have playing on console specifically, and I think PC might have this issue, I'm not 100% certain, but the aim dressing, like particularly when you're playing killer, it feels very, very, very strict on console, because if you've ever watched any of my streams, like I whiff so many hits because the game is like, oh, you wanted to hit this rock? Cool. And I know it does happen on PC, but for whatever reason, I think it's because of the fact that they're trying to take into account that you're playing with joysticks, but sometimes it just snaps you to like the environment instead of the survivor if you're trying to M1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the all aim will mess you up. The all aim will mess you up more on console. It is on PC, I can say that, but it's way less like judgy. Like
you have more control over it on PC.
Yeah, it's spending all its time judging the console players.
I did notice though that I think since they changed the engine update from like to Unreal 5, I don't know if it was just me, because I'm also going through like a physical temporary like disability right now with my hands, but I've noticed that I've been whiffing way more than I normally would as Myers.
Yep. I've been whiffing a lot lately. Even when I was playing today, I don't know if it is a console issue or maybe it's just like a Dead by Daylight issue, but like I will swing and my M1 will go right through.
Yeah.
It'll be right on their back. There's no red bar, there's no like disconnect icon, there's nothing, and I'm like, am I just bad?
It's especially frustrating because, like, when you play the game a lot, like, you notice survivors, like, it gets to a point where they don't run in a straight line anymore. Like, they're trying to juke you and they're trying to run around. Like, they're making it really difficult for you to hit them because that's a good thing to do. And sometimes the camera will just snap onto them, but it won't hit them.
Yep, we'll do that.
And it's super frustrating.
It's like a matter of,
I know where I need to hit.
Yeah, because good survivors know how to manipulate that auto aim to the favor, because hitboxes always drag a little bit behind you or a little bit forward now, I notice. So to try to like manipulate like their ping and try to like cause the server to be like, oh, let's auto aim that way.
I have a question for both of you, and this might expand a little bit, because I personally just cannot play on high sensitivity on console. I don't know why. I just can't. Like I'm stuck at 70 sensitivity. When I play on 100 as killer, I play on 100 as survivor. It feels less motion sicky. But for killer, especially on console, when I'm playing with high sensitivity, like it feels very hard to control, especially now that the hitboxes feel very messed up.
It's actually funny you say that because my sensitivity, at least as far as killer goes, my sensitivity is at 90, and I've had it for 90 for about 2 to 3 years now.
I play at
And for
95.
survivor, I think I keep it at like 75. Ooh,
Nice.
not that adventurous.
Yeah, no, Survivor I also play on 100%, but Killer I play at 95. Back in the day, like I don't know how long y'all have been playing Dead by Daylight, but
in
like
my day.
back in like 2019 era, like console had the worst sensitivity settings ever. Like 100% feels like what 60% does now. And around I want to say that they upped it right around before they implemented crossplay because they knew that we were going to be playing against PC players. That felt awful. So I'm used to the high sensitivity now, but I do feel like it's restrictive. Also, like if you've played other games on console, like if you play FPS games on console, there's a whole lot of settings you can toggle, like dead zones, things like that. DVD just doesn't have that. You just have the sensitivity. That's it. You don't have the ability to control like, like the ramp or anything like that.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Another thing I noticed, because I was playing on my PS4 the other day, trying to like sync up my accounts, and my camera for Survivor was a small little nudge sent me twisting my neck the other way, and I was like, "Oh no, what is happening now?" So there's a difference between controllers and also consoles between sensitivity and how it reacts, I think.
I can't wait for the YouTube comments to tear me apart.
Oh yay!
So one big thing back when I was an Overwatch player, one of the biggest differences between console and PC was actually the power level of certain characters. Tier lists between someone who played only PC and someone who played only console would often be vastly different. Do you guys see that same thing? Like when you watch a tier list, do you think, well, this is obviously because they're on PC that this placement goes here because on console it's a lot different, or is it about the same?
It's actually funny that you talk about that, because we actually had, I think Phoenix can dive into it, because I'm an Xbox One player, so I got the old system, but I definitely felt that Blight and Singularity were definitely up there in the characters where I'm like, I wish I could had a PC so I could play these characters until Singularity guys changes, because it felt like I had to like, because PC obviously you also had to go at full cylinders to play him originally, but console, like I remember every single game of Singularity, and every single time I was like stressed, like there was no like chill moment. I had to like hook someone, then like go to the biopod, flick at the survivor, tag them. they run around corner, go tag to the biopod. Fuck it, CMP'd. Shit. Okay, now head over there, and they got the unhook. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't play Singularity for that reason. Like my brain cannot handle all that information.
Yeah, the settings that they've, or the auto aim and the updates that they gave to Singularity has definitely made him feel a lot better on console. I've been playing him since before his changes, so I got used to him as he was. There were definite obvious like disadvantages to playing him before. That's why all the good Singularities, they're all on PC, because in order to play him, you have to have really quick reaction time, right? Like you have to be able to go in the camera and flick and look exactly where you need to be looking. So it's like, like you have the muscle memory, like I know I need to be looking in this direction, but the controllers, they just didn't have the sensitivity to like match the reaction time, so it felt very sluggish. The auto aim fixes that. So and it's optional. So like it bridges the gap between console and PC players, and I kind of hope that they do that for more killers because it's like people were saying, "Oh, it made him easy," but it's optional. It's there for people that need it. It kind of brings everybody on an even playing field, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that behavior is done. Not to be an old joke in a wish, but I think behavior has done a pretty good job so far on like that aspect of.
I think we
trying to
did a
bridge the
pretty
gap.
good job so far. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
did the same thing for Blight, right? They made his collision a lot more easy to predict. I know we lost hug text. Cry. Yep, cry.
I could never do them. I'm a simple bean. I don't do that.
Yeah, but I could not play Blight on console, and half of it was because of like the controller sensitivity, where I couldn't really like, because I like playing Blight more than just I hug tech round palette. I like going for like bounce off wall hits, but it was a lot harder before the changes because sometimes I would just go. One of two things would happen. It would either be the slippery collision, or I would be a little too slow. And I would always watch like high blight players like Lilith Omen or Momo 7th and just flick off with ease, go pew 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 pew. And I'm like, I can't really do that because I'm restricted by input.
I think Nurse is also a really good example of that because like Nurse is commonly considered like the best killer in the game by everybody. Like there's no doubt about it. Nurse is the best killer in the game. Even console players
Yeah.
say that. Like, but it's also like, have you ever tried to play Nurse on console? Because it's hard. It's really hard.
Me, a former nurse main.
Yeah, I also used to be a Nurse main back
It's so
in the
hard.
old days. But it was super bad. It was super hard. But with Nurse, it's like it's a muscle memory thing. Like once you get the muscle memory down, she becomes a lot easier to play. But we're getting there is challenging. But also like even nowadays, if you watch the high level nurses, like they're able to look around while they're blinking very accurately. You can't really do that with a controller. I mean, you can, but it's slow, so it's the same problem. It feels really sluggish.
My fix for that was to like. That's why my sensitivity was at like 90 because I put in a lot of work to play nurse, and I was one of those insane nurses that would have like Starstruck, and I would always pick indoor maps. Like I don't know why. That was just my go-to. Like, don't at me, don't attack me. But that was just me, little mad lad that I was.
Yeah, another killer. I know that if Revium sees this, he's gonna give us the whole spiel. But before Trickster guys changes, the recoil on controller was awful. It was really bad. Like you, and I remember specifically whenever I would play Trickster, I would have to hold down my looking camera just slightly just to use his power, so I didn't kick back and look to the sky. Okay, it wasn't that bad, but it still felt really bad.
Do you guys think that there is a huge divide between the console player base and the PC player base, or do you think that it's actually pretty even? Because like in other games like Apex Legends, for example, or Overwatch again, there's this huge war that goes on between the two sides. Do you guys notice something like that in the DBD community, or do you think that for the most part it's just kind of like meh?
I'll be 100% on. I think it's kind of meh. But the reason why is a little kind of more depressing. I feel like we already have a lot of war, like a lot of big discussions going on right now. Like killer, like especially like the big one, the tribalism of killer versus survivor,
Us versus
or
them, yeah.
us versus
Super
them.
mentality.
Like, I don't really see too much conflict with it. The only conflict I saw was last night in Brand stream when someone said like console is a controller is a lot easier than mouse and keyboard, and they had a little argument, and that was the first time I've seen that in the community.
Had to have been an Apex player.
Yeah,
It might have been.
Those widows.
But
I
other than
think-
that, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Astral.
No, I'll let you go.
I was just going to say I think that the this might be a hot take. I think Survivor is easier with the controller. I think Killer is definitely harder with a controller, easier with the mouse and keyboard. But I think Survivor is easier with the controller because it's easier to like shift your camera around and look behind you. Maybe not super quickly, but you can do it, and it flows a lot better than having to like adjust your keys while you're running to look behind you. But I feel like overall, I don't think that there's like a massive gap between console players and PC players. Just to kind of give my thoughts on the original question. But it's like you said, it's more so like people are way more focused on like the big arguments of like, oh, killer main versus survivor main. But also like there's also the people that are very like anti-console for no reason, like they're a very loud crowd of people.
That is true. I think
That is very true, honestly.
I was trying to remember what I was thinking, because I remember there was one person I talked to who said that like PC gamers are, and this was one person, not like the whole community before anyone flips out in the comments. But this one person essentially was saying like console adds nothing to numbers, and there's like half a truth there and half truth not. The half a truth is the stats. That's half the truth, because like I'm a P100 artist. I eventually want to, like see how many downs do I have, because all I have is the get 50 downs with your crows, and then it like there's no more information, and I want to see like how well I could compare to like PC gamers. Like I have my friend Fresh Perspective, who is like number 30 in the world with 5,000 bird downs, and I kind of wish we were included with that. But so there's the half truth of like we don't contribute to numbers on that. We don't contribute anything to stats. There's nothing more to track our numbers. But pretty much everything else is, my opinion, completely wrong. I think console gamers is more of the casual fan base, because it's a lot easier to afford and manage a console than it is a PC. I would know. I had to fix this piece of thing for 3 months. Not fun. It was annoying. And it's just a lot easier to maintain a console. So I think that part where they say that, hey, we don't, like, console gamers don't contribute numbers, it's like, I'm pretty sure, like, there's more console gamers, I would say more like 50-50, like, half of it's PC, half of it's console.
Yeah, I'd say like now in recent years, like there's definitely like a more of a balance between console players and PC players as far as the DVD is concerned. I know a few years back I did like a test of switching off crossplay, and just queue times being an hour long. I'm like, oh. And recently now it's like if I occasionally will try it to see, it's like a little bit faster. Still not great, but it's improving.
Which is really nice. It makes me very happy as a console gamer that we're getting some love.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, this actually commonly comes up when we're talking about like the salt that you get from Dead by Daylight stuff. there was there's a common thing with console players where they're like, oh, well, we don't have an in-game chat, so we don't have to worry about that. But there is the messaging system. Do you guys get a lot of salt through that, like the console in-console messaging system, or is it actually like legitimately less salt than you see PC players get?
Way like I'm a it's because I actually like take notes on this. Way less salt, and actually like my last 3 messages were all very nice, happy GGs, and it surprised me considering that a lot of people I watch are PC gamers, so I'm used to just seeing like toxic endgame chats. Do I get salt? Yes, I've gotten salt before. I had Alan like get mad at me for not falling for his very obvious decisive strike. That was weird.
Those are always the good great ones, honestly.
Very true.
I actually turned my my Xbox comments off actually, so I don't receive anything. Only because I put my own foot in my mouth, because I'll get occasional salt messages every now and then. I usually just like laugh them off, like I laugh everything in this game. But one of the last ones I got before I turned it off got me suspended for 2 days. Because I went up against this killer, I forgot what he was. But they called me L Swift, L stuff, and like I'm by myself. I've been solo queue survivors for 2-3 years now, and I thought it was funny. So I said, calm down. I'm by myself. Like, it's not that serious. It's a game, not a penis. Don't take it so hard. That, Xbox did not like me using the medical term for that object. And I got suspended for 2 days, which to me was just my weekend anyway. So I decided to just turn it off so I don't have to give, salt back, because I tend to have a habit of doing that.
It got to a point where I used to keep my messages open, my PlayStation messages open, and I would get a lot of salt because I also came from the Overwatch community, and I would get messages like every so often, but nothing that major. But then I started playing Dead by Daylight, and it was like every other game I was getting messages, and I was like, this is insane. So I put up with it for years, and then I kind of just decided, like, oh, well, because you can set it to friends only, so only people who are on my friends list on my console can send me messages. And it was so funny because some people would try and bypass that by sending me a friend request. And it's like, dude, no. And then, you just decline it and then move on with your life. We don't have the in-game chat, which is also kind of nice, because it's like they could be talking mad shit about me and I'll never know. Like, ignorance is bliss in that matter. I have had people from other platforms seek me out, though, which this blew my mind that this happens, is that people who are playing
the
on
ones that
like
do that
Steam
are like
or
psychotic.
or they're playing
I
on
had
Xbox
that
with,
once.
they'll make accounts with like the mobile app for PlayStation, find my name, and then send me a message that way. I'm like, that is so extra.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had one guy try coming into my server just because I was having a bad game, and I was only playing for a challenge, and it was to use the masquerade power to like endure a stun. And at the time I was just messing around with Clown. I was like, I want to mess around with Clown, but they were pre-dropping everything. So it's like, this match I'm not gonna get my challenge. I'm gonna just like DC go next. He went like onto my channel. I was offline into my server to like spam stuff, and I was just like, all right, weirdo, like banned him. And thinking back, I was like, how do you have that much like desire to do that? But I feel like it would be a little bit hypocritical if I did not talk about like the good messages I've gotten. I've gotten some good ones. I've made some friends on the console, but I will say the bad ones, oh, they're bad. They're really bad.
I appreciate the good ones and try to like put out of mind the bad ones, because same thing for like DBD, like especially like if you're playing DBD, like a lot of people tend to focus on the negative aspects when positive aspects have happened too in like matches or gameplay, whatever. But it's always this emphasis on negativity instead of the positive, and I just try to like think more of the positive than negative anyway.
Is there anything that you guys feel like behavior could add to consoles to make your lives a little bit easier? Like stuff that's on your wish list that's specifically console problems that you would like them to solve?
Better brightness settings.
That's a true one. I had to think a little bit about that one because, like, my first thought was more keybinds, and then I saw the controller on my table, and I'm like, frick.
I would like to have more control over like the contrast and like the gamma of the game, because like PC, it's easy to just throw up a filter, but like if you can do it on console to an extent, you just have to mess with your TV settings. So it's a lot more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, most of. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm trying to think of like what I can think to change. Mine might be a little bit more like selfish, as far as like I would love for behavior at least to try to implement a separate game, like like how Sea of Thieves has a beta version of the game that's completely separate from the main game for the purpose of testing out like PTB stuff. And I would wonder if behavior can do something similar, but I think they would have to ask the store managers and get the whole thing. I think that might be a little bit too much for them, but it would be a nice thought, so that we can experience PTBs as well in some form.
Yeah.
I am so happy you brought that up.
Sorry, yeah, I 100% agree, because like when they put out a patch, it has to go through like Microsoft and Sony approval before it can be, before the game can be patched. Overwatch has a workaround to this with the experimental card, though, so I think something like that is possible, maybe, but I don't know how realistic.
Yeah, because when I was first playing on console, the thing that made me the most sad was the fact that I couldn't play the PTB. Like, I saw like the Resident Evil chapter and whatnot, and then everyone else was playing it on on their PCs on the PTB, and I'm just here on console like, you guys having fun over there?
Like, let me in! Let me in!
It's literally the meme. Let me in! A lot of the main issues, I don't even know if behavior could fix, like the inputs, like the sluggishness of the controls. It's not even like their fault. It's just the fact that, hey, like console on most games, like it is a lot sluggish. I used to be a Destiny 2 player. I see all the speed runs on PCs because you know why? Loading up your inventory just goes boop, switch that, but ready to go. Console, you load up your inventory. All right, I get to wait here for like 20 seconds for everything to load.
Let me drag my small little circular little mouse, quote unquote, across the screen very, very slowly.
Exactly. So other than that, I don't like PTB inputs.
Better
frame rates, and more gamma brightness settings. That's what I think behavior should do.
Final thing I wanted to bring up before we get into like final words and everything from you guys is, are there any like positives to console that you feel like you just can't get anywhere else but on console play?
I brought this up, and this is going to be a rant because of what I had to deal with for the past 3 months. Consoles are easier to maintain than a PC. Having to so I stream with my console and a capture card. That's how I do it. And for a while, my PC was having issues, and it took forever to fix. And I want to let people know I'm not a computer expert. I had just got, like, my dad gave me this as like, hey, this is my old one. Here you go. I heard you like streaming. I heard that streaming on console sucks. There's a lot of audio issues. Here you go. Here's my PC. And I'm like, oh, awesome. I have no idea how to maintain this thing. So the big thing about like with a console is you don't have to worry too much about like any outside factors on a PC. If you get it like unless you know what you're doing with your PC, it's like it's more expensive, it's more work you have to deal with, and it is a massive learning curve. I didn't even know like the command prompt, the BIOS. Like my dad had to help me through all of it. And and that's just like outside stuff. If we get into like Dead by Daylight specific stuff, like positives, I would definitely say that like Phoenix said earlier, Survivor feels it feels a lot better on controller. It feels a lot more smooth in my opinion, and granted, I'm not used to it on PC, because I'm not used to ever gaming on a PC. So, and other than that, I think that's just it. It's just cheaper, easier to maintain, and you don't have to stress about it.
Yeah. I like the for me personally, like it's more like it's the accessibility of having my controller, because since I'm developing I have some signs of like arthritis now, because yay, old age. Um, so controller, I can actually hold the controller, I can move around. I'm like losing a bit of like things recently, but it's so much easier there than me trying to like play the piano on a keyboard with how like rigid my fingers are right now. If that makes sense.
There's also, and I think Astral kind of touched on this, the fact that especially like if a new game, like a brand new game comes out, or if an existing game updates their engine, like console players don't have to worry about, do I need a new graphics card? Do I need a new processor? Like we don't have to upgrade our machine. It's if it comes out on the PlayStation, then my machine's going to be able to run it just fine. Like I don't have to worry about my specs, and I don't have to upgrade it.
All right. Are there any final words you guys would like to say to everybody who's watching on the YouTube or on the Twitch or anything like that?
Is it okay if I promote something that we're doing this month? It's not like my thing, but I think.
Yeah. Oh, anything you want to say to them at all?
Okay. This September, me and a bunch of friends are doing this thing called Candles in the Fog, where we will be playing only using Hex and Boon perks for Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. I would love for you guys to take part in it and just spread that awareness as someone who has lost some to that. I want to extend that because like Corp said, I want to focus on the positivity in this community, and I genuinely think that DBD has a amazing positive community, and I kind of want to like try and help others shut out the really, really, really loud negative people. So I think that doing this would be really nice and allow you to see a good part of the community if you still believe that we are as bad as people say we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that, honestly. I think this is my first time doing any type of like being out in the community, because I spent 3 years just hiding in my little hole just on my channel, just quietly there. So I just want to just thank you Kaiser, for just giving me this opportunity to just speak a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And your hobby community and your community as well, which has always been awesome.
Of course. Phoenix?
Yeah, so just my final thoughts. I wish that we as a community, as a Dead by Daylight community, would give the console content creators a little bit more of a chance. They tend to be very unpopular, and I don't know if it's just a networking thing or if their reach isn't very far. But if if any other console players out there, if you are ever discouraged from playing a character or playing a killer just because you're on console, don't be, because I promise you there are people out there who are playing those killers. I say this with very heavy Singularity bias. It's not impossible. It might be a little bit more work, but like seek people out because they will help you.
All right.
Absolutely.
And if you guys want to join me in thanking our channel members listed on screen now, if you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, personalized coaching, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much. I'm sure these three beautiful people do as well, and we will see you in the next one. Need more Kaiser in your life? Well, I've got you covered. Check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload full gameplays, stream compilations, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also upload a daily short with all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.